Rocking and rolling. All right, here we are, another episode of Around Town. I think it's episode 14. I'm Josh Hodges. I'm here with Tommy John, the Boys and Girls Club. We're at the East Avenue facility here in Hamilton, Ohio. Thanks for taking a minute to talk with me today. What's the Boys and Girls Club mean to you? And before you answer, I'm going to add a little bit more to that. I know in this world, all people move around jobs a lot, and I've talked to you before, and I know that you haven't moved around jobs a lot. Not that moving around jobs is bad, but it's interesting to find someone who started at the bottom of an organization. You told me you've had every job in the Boys and Girls Club up to this point, as high as you've gotten. Tell me why you stuck with this place so long, and what about it makes you want to keep with the mission?
Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you for coming in and interviewing and learning more about Boys and Girls Club. It means a lot to me. I didn't know what I wanted to do as a profession when I went to college and switched majors a couple times because I just wanted to help. I didn't know how I wanted to help, but I knew that I wanted to help. And I started off as a teacher and educator, and I have a high amount of respect for educators and our school system. And as an educator, my concern was always when the school day ends, I send kids home on the bus or their walk home, what are they doing? What's happening, right? And I had a lot of situations as a teacher, even in a short amount of time, that I had to report abuse cases, neglect. I had just situations where kids were just sad. They were coming to school the next day, and I started working part-time with Boys and Girls Clubs. And as a youth development professional, that's kind of the entry-level position for Boys and Girls Clubs, and you get to work directly with the kids as a part-time staff. And I've been with them ever since, the past 13 years in 3 different states, and done things I never imagined I would do, whether it's fundraising or evaluating programming for an entire county, or just getting to meet a lot of great people. So I think that Boys and Girls Clubs is a crucial service. After school programs is a crucial service for communities to be healthy, growing, successful communities.
And maybe we should just go back to the very beginning. What is Boys and Girls Club? I think I have an idea, but I think a lot of people probably don't know. I know it's, kids go after school, but then what? What's the mission? What are you guys all about, just in general?
Yeah, sure. So Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton and Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton is part of a national movement of Boys and Girls Clubs. All around the country and also around the world on military bases, Boys and Girls Clubs exist, and they are reflections of the immediate community. Boys and Girls Clubs is after school, summer programming. Pretty much anytime school is out, the club is in. That's what we say.
All right.
And we have 3 priority program areas that are on academic enrichment, good character and healthy lifestyles, and citizenship. And that's the type of programming that we implement after school. It's not just somewhere where kids come and do homework after school. They have guided mentorship, tutoring, healthy snack, exercise, service to community. Our teen programming offers scholarship opportunities and workforce readiness. And there's a lot that we do that we're trying to get the word out here in Hamilton about all those things that we offer. And all of our programs here in Hamilton are at no cost for families.
All right, and we're trying to get the word out more, and hopefully we can do a little bit of that with here, but you guys have been around in Hamilton for a long time. I know when I was in elementary school, I had friends that came to Boys and Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have they been in Hamilton? Just what's the history?
Yeah, Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton has been serving youth and teens in the city for 70 years. So there are a lot of club alumni who are right here in the city, and engaging our alumni and our families who have gone through our programs is a big initiative of mine. But for a long time, we had the East Avenue location, which we're in today, our East Club, and then we have our Grand Club on Grand Boulevard as well. And since coming here about 10 months ago to Ohio and Hamilton, we've helped getting started and opening our new location at Highland Elementary through a partnership with the Hamilton City School District. And so the work that people have done for 70 years for Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton has created this foundation now, right, where the city is in a renaissance and growing, and people are moving to Hamilton every day. And in order to keep that momentum, we at Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton also have to grow right along with the city to ensure families who are coming have affordable childcare.
And growing doesn't necessarily always mean buying a new building or building a new building. That's super expensive. I mean, this is kind of more an innovative approach. You're going to go to a school that there's already a building there, and you're going to do the program, but you don't have to spend money from donors or whatever money you guys do have on rent or upkeep of a building.
Yeah, that's right. Because I mean, the name of the game for us and as long as I'm here in Hamilton, is always going to be making sure that as much of every dollar goes directly to our youth as possible. We don't want to spend dollar on brick and mortar or building a new facility if we don't have to. There's plenty of great facilities. There's plenty of opportunities for partnership that we can do right here in Hamilton to make sure that those gifts from our donors and that every dollar we receive goes directly to our youth as much as possible. And that's going to allow us to serve more youth in the end, which at the end of the day, accessibility is the name of the game right now, right? Like all of our clubs are currently on a wait list for the school year. We'll continue to enroll families as spaces become available, but the need is there. We had a wait list all summer for our summer program as well.
Okay, and you have to do a wait list. Is it just because the facilities aren't big enough or not enough help? I mean, what are some of the things holding you back from maybe even greater things?
Yeah, we actually have a great partnership with both Baden and Hamilton High School and Miami regionals at Miami University for hiring. So staffing is not a problem at all. It's just the capacity of the space in which we can facilitate. We're just limited by the space that we have. And so for us, it's we'll only implement a wait list when we're at full capacity. We keep a ratio of 1 to 15. That's what we see as best for the club experience. We want to make sure it's a quality experience as well. So we're very particular about the number of youth that we serve per caring adult mentor that's in our club.
And I know you got a lot of success stories of alumni, you call them, kids who came through. Tell us about the kid that draws on the shoes. I mean, tell us about that. It wasn't a kid from Hamilton, it was one of the other clubs you were in, correct?
Oh, yes, that's right. It was a young man from Fort Pierce, Florida. And he's doing great things now. His name is Jamirez. He goes by Kicks by Tokyo on Instagram. So It's a great guy, young entrepreneur, 6'8", a great big guy. Everyone wanted him to be a football player, great grades in school. Everybody wanted him to go on to be a doctor. He decided to follow his passion of I just want to draw on shoes and I just want to own my own business. And I said, well, let's get you a blank pair of white shoes and you can mess around on them and you can draw them for me. The ones I'm wearing today
got them on.
These are the original pair, but I do have, I call these the 1.0s, but I do have like the 2.0s and the 3.0s. So
he's made you a few shoes.
He has maybe a few different types. Yeah, this was the first try, and then he's gotten better and better since then. He's done shoes for NFL Hall of Famer Rod Woodson. He's done shoes for Albert Wilson, the NFL wide receiver. And he's just a great person with great character. But one thing I have to say about Jamirez is that the club helped him to follow his passion. It's not me, it's the clubs. It's not even any individual staff. That's why I want people in the community to know too, that the organization does great work. Not the people do great work in it, but it's the mission and vision and direction of the organization that has this sort of impact that unlocks youth potential when they come through our doors.
How big is the organization just nationally? How many clubs, how many employees, how many kids served, roughly?
Yeah, so every Boys and Girls Clubs is its own separate 501c3 nonprofit. Okay. Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton is no different. Nationally, we have an umbrella organization, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, which offers things like safety assessments, programmatic support, transitionary sort of support, growth support. They just announced recently that we opened our 5,000th club, and I'm sure by now it's probably close to 6,000.
Okay.
But the 5,000th club was opened in Elgin, Illinois, and Good Morning America came out. Some of our alumni were there. I know that Denzel Washington was there. He's a famous Boys and Girls Clubs alumni.
All right.
There's just countless alumni who have been involved with the clubs that may realize or may not realize the impact that's been made by attending one of our organizations.
All right, so, if we're talking to people in Hamilton who maybe knew what the Boys and Girls Club was or thought they did, now they're maybe watching this, learning more about you somewhere else. What can the average person do to pitch in to do their part if they want to get involved?
One of the things that I've talked a lot with our staff about is that we don't have to be the expert in everything. So working with people who are experts in any sort of given field, that's what we want them to contribute to our kids who come in our clubs. So what are you passionate about? What's important to you? Do you want to come in and teach a foreign language? Do you want to come in and teach a trade? Would you like to come in and teach gymnastics? So one of the ways people can get involved is volunteering. or working for the clubs. We're always hiring part-time staff because we're always looking to serve more youth. That's why I tell people, are you hiring? Yes, we're always hiring because we're always on to what's next to serve more youth. People can contribute financially to the organization. We have a lot of really generous folks who live in our community who are donors who help keep the doors open. Those are two big ways. So contribute something you're passionate about, contribute financially, and just get involved. And even if, I'll say this too, right now I know we're talking about Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton, but I will say to everyone that's watching, if you're not involved with something, find something that you are passionate about. One of the reasons why I decided to move to Hamilton, my fiance and I decided to come, is there's a lot of great nonprofits. So whether it's Pyramid Hill, Fitness Center, YMCA, YWCA, Hype, Boys and Girls Club, find what you're passionate about and get involved and do something for that nonprofit to help make a difference in our community.
Yeah, they all kind of help each other in a way, helping the community. Back to you said do something you're passionate about here, like you could teach gymnastics, you could teach, whatever. What does that look like? Is that someone volunteering? Like you say, I'm an attorney, is that part of your program? I could come in for a day and teach kids what it's like to be an attorney or about criminal justice or court. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, you can volunteer. We can do it one of two ways. We can kind of set up a 6-week course where you come in once or twice a week as a volunteer. The first thing that we do is send you through a volunteer screen process. And then there's trainings that we have to complete. All of our volunteers and all of our staff in the organization complete some safety trainings because you're working with youth. And from there, it can be as simple as you just want to talk to them about, maybe you want to do a debate club. Maybe you want them to aspire to be an attorney. We can build a program. Our staff, our club directors, our program directors will build a program around the skills of our volunteers.
So if a volunteer wants to get involved, they could call and basically just start a discussion with someone here, if it makes sense for them to, our camera guy could teach how to take pictures or videography or something, right? Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple ways. They can, we have our director of operations, name is Doug Ware. He's kind of the starting point for a volunteer process for our organization. His information is on our website. His email is dware@bgchamilton.org. So that's really the first step. We also, again, have on our website, bgchamilton.org. We have a volunteer page where people can submit a volunteer application, and then Doug will give them a call.
All right. What's your favorite thing about your job? I'm guessing maybe the kids in general, but there's something more specific maybe.
Well, that's interesting. And that's something that not wrestled with, but just thought a lot about over the years, right? I tell you, I started my career wanting to help and became a teacher. Loved working with youth directly. I became a part-time person in the club who got to work directly with youth. But then every sort of step that you take in your career with a nonprofit, it's you get a little bit further away at Boys and Girls Clubs from directly serving kids. I personally make time to go in to shoot baskets with kids. That's something that I love is basketball. Might stop by and help with homework a little bit, but to make an hour a week or more to do that and remind yourself of the youth and families that you're serving is a big part of my job. One of the things that I love most now as a CEO is being able to understand the reach of the organization. That's something that really makes me happy. When I was a teacher, I served 30 kids a day. Right now, this organization is on a journey, Boys and Girls Clubs of Hamilton, to serve 1,000 youth a day. And so I take solace knowing that the work that I do every day in my current role is empowering our staff to do some of the same work that I did when I first started my career.
It's pretty awesome. Is there anything else you'd add? I think you've already kind of covered it really well. I think I've learned more about Boys and Girls Club already. It's just one of those buildings that's been down the street. I've lived here my whole life. I didn't really know a ton about it, and I'm really glad to learn more. Is there anything else you think people should know?
Yeah. There's a couple of things I would like to Bill kind of mention. One of the things that we're working on is really being really specific about our strategic direction and approach. It's not just about rapid growth for rapid growth's sake. You'll see some of the banners up behind you. We're focusing on our world-class clubs, our life enriching programs, and our caring adult mentors. So that is what guides our organization, making sure we have the best possible facilities, whether it's trying to renovate our older facilities or partner to open up new facilities. Caring adult mentors, our staff, our volunteers, we need the best people around our youth in Hamilton because they deserve that, right? And then the last one is life enriching programs, which we alluded to a little bit, but it's about partnerships. This summer, we partnered with Durana Hybrid for a new program that was focusing on engineering. Kids in that program got to explore Hamilton. They went to the dam and learned about hydroelectric power. They learned what happens when you make money. They went to Telhio to learn, Telhio Credit Union to learn about investment. And inevitably, this program culminated in the unveiling of their project, which was created through CAD design. And then Durana Hybrid actually cut the project, and the kids helped with wiring it. And it's a large Boys and Girls Club logo that the kids created that will be put up at our grand location. And that's a great kind of representation of our 3 pillars, I think, right? We had great volunteers, great staff, great program idea with knowledge about that program. And then it happened in our clubs, in our facilities. So that's the type of work that we're gonna continue to do here in Hamilton, which is really exciting. And you'll see more of our locations start to open here in Hamilton, and as well as you'll see our mobile clubs at places like the Flea. That's a new initiative that we're working on as well. We have 3 new vans that you'll see out in the community. So our mobile clubs will just pop up at a park on the weekend, and they'll set up a tent and they'll engage families in fun, family-oriented activities, because it's about getting the word out. It's about teaching people what we do, but to me, it's about creating a pathway for families from the first time that they learn about the club until they walk through our doors. What does that look like? How does that feel for our parents in our community? So we're being very intentional about outreach as well.
I mean, you got to have a plan or you don't know where you're going. So it's good. You got some specific goals and plans. And so you really are doing some partnerships with some of these companies, and there's more companies coming to Hamilton, seems like every year or so. I guess there's always room for them to reach out to you, or you reach out to them and set up things for the kids for next summer.
Yeah, there are. And, one of my biggest things is there's a lot of exciting things happening in Hamilton, right? It's exciting that's why I purchased my home here.
Yeah.
Now I can call myself a Hamiltonian because I live here. That's what some people have told me anyways. You can't do that until you live in Hamilton. But our goal is we want everyone to feel excited about that. I want all of our families that we serve to know what's happening at Spooky Nook, to know what's happening downtown, to continue to build that connectivity that 17 Strong works on every day in Hamilton, to connect people to people, and to connect those groups of people to resources in their city.
It touches all parts of the town.
Yeah, all parts of the town are for everybody. All parts of our community are for everybody. And so continuing to do that work is something that we're honored to do.
And it's a pretty good mission. I can get behind it. So, Tommy, thanks for sitting down and talking with me.
Of course. Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure is all mine. It's pretty fun. Not too bad.
It was easy.
Yeah, it's easy. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, which we're at.